Function now, and we'll get started. And we'll get going with Murat Atesh from The Athletic. Go ahead, Murat.
Hi, Gabe. I guess your story here is the opposite of a lot of players in that you came from the big, sunny market and you've committed to the passion-crazed city of Winnipeg for 6 years. Why is this the right place for you?
Um, I mean, I've been here 2 years now, and I love it in Winnipeg. I think the opportunity for us to win in the our window here of 4 or 5 years is something I'm very excited about, and I want to be a part of. And I love Winnipeg. It's a great spot. It feels like home to me, and the fans, the team, the organization, everybody has welcomed me to Winnipeg since I've been there, and it's been great. So made a pretty easy decision for me.
Can you describe any elements of the falling in love process of the over the 2 years you getting to know this place and realizing, okay, this is actually a really good fit for me?
Can you repeat? You're kind of muffled.
Apologies. Can you remember any of the moments along the 2 year journey here that convinced you, like, hey, wait a second, this is an unreal spot?
I wouldn't say it's moments. It's just the whole kind of experience. And like I said, just the environment being in Winnipeg. I'm from Kingston, very, I think similar in a lot of ways. So it's kind of always had that home feel for me. And we've kind of me and my girlfriend Megan, we've kind of grown to love Winnipeg, and it feels like home to us now. So yeah, it's not really any moment or something like that, but just the people, whether that's the fans, my teammates, people that work within the Jets organization. Everyone's just been super kind, welcoming, and yeah, very, very homey.
Go next to Kelly Moore from 680 CJOB. Go ahead, Kelly.
Hi, Gregor, thank you. Can you hear me okay, Gabe?
I can hear you.
Okay, headset guy.
Uh,
Uh, Congratulations on the deal. That doesn't count as a question, Gregor. Uh, at least from the outside, and I don't know what it was like internally, but would it be accurate to say this negotiation went fairly smooth?
I think so. I wasn't involved in much of the conversations. I don't know what Chevy and my agent were, barking at each other, but I think everything went pretty smoothly from what I heard, and I'm glad to hear that because from from the end of the season, whenever I started thinking about this stuff, it was never in any questions for me. I always wanted to be back in Winnipeg, so it was important that we got it done and we didn't get to arbitration, and I don't think anybody wanted that. So it was kind of how it played out was almost inevitable.
You talked about, the last 2 years and how you've grown to really like this market. But also, Mark Scheifele's on board for another 6 years remaining on his contract. We don't know what Kyle's going to do, but how much of the potential to be playing on one of the best number one lines for an extended period also factored into this decision, Gabe?
Uh, yeah, I mean, I'd say less, the line, but more just the team. I believe in our group. I think this past year, we obviously showed what we're capable of in the regular season, and obviously the playoffs didn't end up our way, but I think we competed there, and you know, um, I think just the opportunity of this window we have, where I truly believe we have a great opportunity to win, and I want to be a part of that, and I think we can accomplish that.
Go next to Mike McIntyre from the Winnipeg Free Press. Go ahead, Mike.
Thank you, Gregor with an E. Gabe, I wonder what the little kid from Kingston would have thought if you could go back in time and tell him, one day you're going to sign an NHL contract, $45 million, playing in the best league in the world. Like, is any of this Is there any sense of overwhelm to all of this? Because it's life changing, right?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it's less about the money and more about, just the position I'm at. It's not like, looking back, I always wanted to be a hockey player. I always worked really hard and, I always knew this was going to happen. In terms of the money, I'm grateful. I can, help my family and, make sure that everyone's set kind of thing. But, um, I'm grateful. A lot of people have helped me get to this point, obviously. And, but it doesn't change much. I feel like I have a lot to prove, and I want to keep getting better. So it's not surprising in any way if that's kind of what you were going at, but it is obviously it does feel good, and I'm like I said, I'm super grateful to a lot of people that have helped me.
And then just on Winnipeg and the perception maybe that exists out there, which every time a Gabe Vilardi signs long term, maybe that perception gets chipped away at a little bit that Winnipeg is a place a lot of NHL players don't want to come to. The Jets have done a very good job of when they get guys here, whether it's through draft or trade, retaining them. Why do you think that is? Like, why is maybe the perception a little bit different than the reality?
I think, perception is tough. I mean, being for me, example, when I played in LA, you come to Winnipeg, you're staying on Portage, you don't really leave that downtown area. So it's freezing cold and you're like, wow, like this is it's kind of dark. It's not something that, you're looking forward to going out and enjoying dinner kind of thing. But once you get to Winnipeg and, you leave the downtown area and you go to your neighborhoods, the River Heights, the Tuxedo, whatever it is. Um, for me personally, it feels like home, and I like that. And then to your other part of your question, I feel like you know a lot of it is the group of guys. We have a great team on and off the ice. Love all the guys, and I think the opportunity is something that you can't overlook. I mean, we have a good team, and I truly believe we have a team that can win. So if you're an outside guy looking in, I mean, you have to figure out what you want. Do you want to go live in the warm climates and maybe play on a worser team, or do you want to come to Winnipeg and sure it's minus 30, but you're gonna be on a good team. And I mean, at the end of the day, for me, it's about hockey. I want to win. I want to be a good player. That's my top priority in life. So it's easy to, you know, overlook the cons and look at the pros for me.
Go next to Derek Van Diest from NHL.com. Go ahead, Derek.
Thanks, Gregor. Gabe, congratulations on the contract. I just want to ask you about you. You had a great season last year. You're going into kind of your prime years in this contract. I just want to ask you what your ceiling is. What are you looking at? How good of a player can you be throughout the length of this contract?
I don't know how to answer that, Derek. I mean, I hope to be a really good player. I think I still have, more room to grow. Um, you know, uh, we talked about, the length and the number a lot. I'm hoping, in 3 years, Cap's going to keep rising. Obviously, I'd like to be someone where people are saying, "Wow, that's a great contract for the Jets." Looking back at it, I know everyone has their opinions on the number. Some people say too high, some people say too low. That everyone's entitled to their own opinions. I just want to keep growing and developing my game. And yeah, in terms of my ceiling, I don't really know what my ceiling is. I'm not going to sit here and say it's 50 goals or 60 goals because even if I did achieve that, it's still not good enough. You always can keep climbing.
And I also want to ask you the importance of remaining with this team that's in a championship window. You guys have been one of the best teams in the league for a while now. How important was it to stay with this team? The core is there, and you guys are right in your championship window there, and that's going to be like exciting for you guys to be part of this.
Yeah, exactly. That was a big factor. I mentioned it a few times that, I think our window is, 4 or 5 years here. And I think we have a really good shot and I want to be a part of it. I'm super excited to keep keep growing as an individual, keep growing as a team. And I think our mindset is win now, and we have the team to do it.
Go next, Dave Minuk from Illegal Curve. Go ahead, Dave.
Thanks, Gary. Gabe, just what was your reaction to the Jonathan Toews signing, and what do you think he can bring to this team?
Super excited. I grew up watching John, and I think him bringing that experience, that he's won 3 cups. He knows what it takes. I think it's good for us in the locker room, on the ice. I'm super excited to meet him. I sent him a text when he signed. I told him how excited that the team is to have him. I think for him, missing that time, it's obviously he's going to have a tough situation coming back, and obviously getting back into the groove of things. And hopefully myself and the guys, we can help him feel comfortable and get him back going kind of as quick as he can. But it's super exciting.
Thanks.
Go back to Kelly Moore. Go ahead, Kelly.
Thanks, Gregor. Gabe, you mentioned Jonathan Toews. There are also other new faces like Gustav Nyquist and Tanner Pearson, and certainly Cole Koepke. You've had some departures. If you spent any time at all this summer thinking about how this team will be somewhat different, even though a lot of the core remains intact, do you see the ability with the changes that have been made for the team to continue to play the way that it has to?
Yeah, I mean, I believe so. We got the same coaching staff. The core group is still there, and yeah, obviously every year it's not going to be the exact same roster. There's going to be change always. So we're going to welcome the new guys in, and I think, like I said many times now, I think we're still a very, very good team.
And one final one for me. I'm just interested, when you turn the clock back 2 years ago, like you mentioned, you came here from LA, you didn't know much about Winnipeg. Is this as close to a best case scenario that could have ever happened for you personally and those around you following that June 23rd trade with Los Angeles?
I don't know what best case scenario is, but yeah, I'm super grateful that they acquired me, took a chance on me, and I've been given a lot of opportunities since I've come to Winnipeg that I'm super grateful for. And I love the group of guys we have. I'm super grateful for the relationships I've kind of made over the past 2 years. So yeah, I'm happy how that all played out, and I'm glad I'm sticking around for a while longer.
Go next to Carter Brooks from Hockey News. Go ahead, Carter.
Hey, Gabe, congrats on the deal. Just wondering if you were out and about when you got the news, where you were, and if there was any celebration after signing this contract.
Yeah, I was in Michigan actually, just with my trainer and with some buddies, and we were golfing and training, and that's kind of what happened this weekend. I haven't really celebrated too much. I'll have to figure something out with my friends and family here in Kingston to celebrate. Maybe next weekend we'll get something done.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for the time today, Gabe, and congrats on the contract. And we look forward to seeing you in September.